Hey, and welcome to Fit Me Turo Fitness Podcast, a podcast for people who want to get no BS information about fitness and know that fitness is about so much more than losing scale weight. It's about feeling confident in your skin and empowered in your life. I'm your host, Turo Virta, personal trainer, strength and nutrition coach, and most of all, a husband of my beautiful wife, Miriam. Each week, my guests and me will give you some no BS fitness tips and motivate you to take action in your own personal fitness journey as we talk about nutrition, exercise, mindset, personal development, and executing in life with enjoyable but still effective strategies. If your goal is to look better, feel and be strong and experience transformation from inside out, you, my friend, are in the right place. Thank you for jumping in, and now let's jump into today's episode. Hey, and welcome to this Fit Me Turo Fitness podcast. Today's episode, I'm talking about 5 strategies that most successful dieters or people who are able to maintain their lost weight are going to have and are going to keep. So this is a topic at this time of the year as I'm recording this. It's Christmas Day, 24th of December. Episode is coming out on 26th. So from my experience, so many people are looking for something after holidays, but also not only to find the fastest way to lose weight, but also how to maintain it. And these are habits that my most successful clients are having. And maybe some of them are going to stick with you, that you are not going to repeat same mistakes what you have probably done in the past, so you can finally lose weight, keep it off without taking all enjoyment away from your life. So let's get right into that episode and those strategies. And number one is habit is becoming aware what you are currently doing. So this is a point what I always love to start with all of my clients. So it's not about having, like, obviously, if you think that you would get a meal plan or some kind of plan to follow, and then when you are doing it, you are seeing very, very likely results. But what is the point? My question is always that what you are going to do after. So if you are able to follow a meal plan with the ingredients they have given to you, meals that have given to you, it tells that you have a lot of discipline. But the question is always that how long that will last. So how long you are able to do those meals, how you are going to react for situations that will happen in a life. Like even if you don't want to do it, maybe at some point you are going to get you are going to have busy period in work. Maybe in your family is going to be some emergency. Maybe you yourself or your family member is getting sick. So there's always something what is going to cause that. Something is happening in life. And if you are not prepared for these situations, if you don't know what you are exactly going to do, what is for most people, what is happening is that they are getting off track. Then they think that what is the point? I have lost all my progress. And then you are waiting that when situation is getting better, you are starting over. And that is the best way to feel, only frustrated, thinking it like that, why I'm not going to see any results even I'm trying so hard. So first step is always to becoming aware, and there are a few options how to actually do it. Like the first step, if you obviously the most accurate way is to track your nutrition for let's say for a week, 3-4 days, just something. But if you don't want to use some tracking app or wake your food, even writing it down what you are eating. Like let's say that in Friday you had your breakfast, what you were eating in a breakfast, what you were having lunch, what snacks you had, and just that itself helps you to give freedom that and understanding that what you are probably not even realizing it, like, okay, after work I had my 5 cookies, after work there was 2 glasses of wine. So just becoming aware, this your habits, what you are currently doing, and then it's so much easier to starting to look that even most of us, we know what we are doing wrong, but then if you look that there is like you have maybe 10 points what you would like to change, and the key is then to not start to change everything at the same time, because that is again all in or nothing mindset, which we will talk about it a bit later, but just focusing on 1 to 2 things, and just becoming aware what you are currently doing, and then thinking it like that, because these are examples. Like I recently worked with 2 clients, Sanna and Don, and both of them, they were like, initially they said that they have tried to track their food, and that was not for them. And then I encouraged them to say that let's do it for 3 4 days, and they trusted me, and they started to track their food for 3 4 days, and it ended up like that for both of them were like that, holy shit, this was so helpful to recognize that one of them were eating too little on a lunchtime, snacking way too much. Other one understood that breakfast was not what it should be, and then changing those small habits which didn't even feel that hard at the time, and they lead then amazing results in 2 3 months. Sanna fitting better into clothes, lost a couple kilos already within the first 2 months. Don have been tracking now 3 months, lost 20 pounds, I think, at this point. So amazing results. And it all started with one decision to try it for a couple of days. And then, when you realize, you understand that this habit is helping so much, becoming aware and making automatically some kind of adjustments, that is going to be a game changer. So that is habit number one. Habit number two is prioritizing protein. So protein is something what I think all people are talking about, but it's still such an unrated thing. And as many people are thinking like that, I'm not eating enough protein, or I try to eat protein, but there is a huge difference to know actually what are your protein goals, how much you are currently eating, and how much you should be eating, and aiming to closer, not hitting the perfect number of protein, but aiming to get closer to your protein goals. And first step, like, is together with the step number one, is to becoming aware of what you are currently doing. Because it's if you think that my breakfast is I eat an egg is source of protein, and that is my breakfast. I have one egg, but then when you looked at how much actually your protein goal is, and for most people, like, it's 1.5 to 2 grams per kilo body weight. So let's say that you use 1.5, you weigh 60 kilos, you should get at least 90 grams of protein. If your weight is 70 kilos, it should be over 100 grams. And if you get your breakfast has one egg, that's the only source of protein, you are having 6 grams of protein, maybe 7. So there is missing a lot of protein for your lunch, for your dinner, for your snacks. So first step is, what I probably would do is trying to add some protein for your breakfast, so it becomes a lot easier to reach that actually goal what you are having. And then that again is leading that you are going to feel fuller. What clients like Sanna said, that she had a huge problems with that kind of cheat days, snacking, drinking Coke, eating chips, candies. And suddenly all those kind of cravings, they disappear when you add more protein. So, or not disappear totally, but you don't need them as much as before. So, because there is a science behind with protein and fiber. So those are most satiating foods. They reduce your sweet cravings, and this is kind of easiest way for me and for most people, is to focus on adding things like protein. So in the end, it leads to the same results, that you are automatically eating something else less, and altogether that leads that you are eating less calories, without feeling that you are starving, you have to restrict, reduce something, which obviously might be the case too. But when you focus on adding things, it in the end it has the same effort, same effect than trying to focus on restrictions. So that is habit number two. Habit number three is incorporating regular exercise. So, and this might sound that I don't have time for exercising, but it's not that you have to do certain amount of exercise or it's not worth of anything, because that is like, it's all in or nothing mindset. And it could be starting just simply adding more steps, getting that non-exercise activity higher. So if you are averaging at the moment, let's say 4,000 steps, aiming for 6,000 steps, or if you are getting 5,000 now, aiming for 6, 7,000. So those are kind of sustainable additions. And then thinking like that, what is the most beneficial way of exercise? And for most people, that is some form of resistance training, strength training, and it has such many benefits. First of all, is that the feeling of you are getting stronger. I recently, actually yesterday, talked with one of my clients, Samia, and her mindset have changed. Like she used to have like a lot of body shame, fat shame, feeling like didn't like what she's looking, and everything started to change when she changed her mindset of trying to focus on how fast, how much fat she can lose, when she started to focus on how strong she can get. And that is kind of what changed everything. It's such a big change with your mindset when you focus on how strong you can get. And that is giving you the feeling that you are actually strong. You are able to do things what you were maybe not able to do before. Like for Samia was going into a plane, lifting her luggage to the upper shelf by herself, which is like 10, 15 kilos, might sound for someone that this is a simple thing, I can do it already. But for her, she could never do it herself. She always had to ask help earlier, or opening some jar box or glass with her own hands and not asking help for doing it, and or carrying heavy groceries. What earlier she would have to take a trolley or something to carry her stuff, and now she's like, holy shit, I'm able to do these things. So there are so many benefits, and obviously as a side effect, when you are doing it, your muscles are more defined, they feel better, you have more energy, and there are so many other benefits of strength training why you should be doing it. And this kind of mindset shift from focusing on weight loss, fat loss, to how strong you can get is such a big game changer. And other thing with exercising is not aiming for perfection. So the best stories what I have from my clients, and the most successful, is that is my favorite story. What I used to do as a mistake also when I was a younger coach is to aiming for perfect number from the beginning. Like with one woman, when I was in the beginning of my career, she came to me. She was very, very motivated, and said that at the moment she's not exercising, but now time has come that she want to exercise 5 times a week. And I was like that, selfishly seeing already before after pictures that I could post some testimonials in my social media, how fast results we got, and made her program 5 times a week. And what happened after 2 weeks, I never heard from her anymore, because everything was sore, and she just couldn't take it. So, and obviously at the time I was blaming her that she just didn't have a motivation or whatever. And now I understand that was only 100% my mistake, my responsibility as a coach, as someone who is coming from background without exercising 5 times a week is way too much of exercising. So now what I think that what I do now is a little bit different, or totally different. So I aim, first step is always to, for the first 30 days, is to take as little as possible, that you feel confident what you are able to do. And then if after 1 month you still feel like that it could be more, then it's time to start adding things, at longer workouts, at one more workout session, and then adjusting it all the time what feels sustainable. Because ultimately, what is the point of doing more if you are getting enough results to keep going with by working smarter and not necessarily harder? And this is one of, or couple of my most successful clients, Florian, Christine. Those couple names come up right away from my head. They started with the 2 times a week, 10 minutes workout sessions. And it might sound that, does this even make sense to have a coach who is giving you a program for 10 minutes? But it's not the ultimate goal to work out 2 times 10 minutes. Obviously, that is also better than nothing, but it's a start. And then, for example, Christina, I just looked at her stats. We have been working now over 1.5 years together. She started 2 times a week, and now she's in a routine 3 times a week, 30 minutes, which is more than enough to see sustainable results, and that she has been able to do it. But if she would start in the beginning 3 times a week, 30 minutes, that would be way too much. She would quit. So just don't aim for perfection, aim for what you are able to do. And then first step is always to learning to keep promises what you make to yourself. As just an example for me, this podcast episode, I was so long, I said that, no, okay, now it's Christmas time. I want to take it easier, but thought that I promised for myself to record one podcast episode per week. And maybe this is not the perfect episode, but and I'm recording it. It's 24th of December, early morning, because I know that it's Thursday when I'm always publishing. It's 26th. I want to take it easier on next days. So, and I want to keep promises I make to myself. And this is the same thing with my strength training. I'm ashamed to commit that recently I have been struggling, especially with the strength training. It's, to be honest, at this point, it's 30 to 60 minutes per week, when ideally it would be 2-3 hours per week. And at this point, I feel ashamed that it's nowhere near where I want it to be. But it's the same thing what I learned, that if I start to skip my workouts for a week, I said that I used to talk myself out of doing it. I said that there is no point of doing 10-minute exercises. I start next week again. And this I always ended up doing, like 1 week, then it's next week is easier to skip. And now what I learned, that consistency beats perfection every single time. And just keeping promises I make to myself. And I never promise myself anymore to finish my workout. I promise to start it. And that has been just such a big game changer, because strength training is something for me that I naturally don't enjoy. Actually, I gotta say that at this time, I almost hate it. I know that when I just need to get there, and then it's okay. But it's not about getting perfect workout in. It's all about getting started, keeping promises I make to myself, and this is my way to show up and do the work what I know, because I know that at some point time will get easier. I have more time again. I have maybe more motivation, but even through difficult and busy season of life, I stick with the plan. I stick with the keeping promises I make to myself. And this is one of the key habits of most successful people, is that they learn to keep their promises. And if you are someone that I can't keep promises I make to myself, then it's time to adjust promises you make to yourself, and do not promise that much, and adjusting those promises you make to yourself. So if some weeks it's going to be 10-minute workout, next week it's going to be 20 minutes, that's totally fine. But until you keep promises you make to yourself and at least get started, that is going to be a game changer. Then habit number 4 is actually planning and preparation. So This is something like I was with the women's ice hockey national team in Canada, and saw that how different nutritional habits are there. And as most people, they are just go, go, go. And then, you don't have necessarily time to eat. And I talked with one of my good friends yesterday about it. And he said also that he's struggling with especially with the lunch, because he doesn't have time to go to, or it feels he would maybe have time, but he said that he's rather deciding to eat something quickly as going to somewhere to restaurant and wasting 1 hour. Goes this way, he's 1 hour faster at home. And said, okay, that would be an easy fix if he would plan and prepare things already at home, taking with him. He would save time. He would know what he's getting. Because all these quick choices, if you go like in Canada, there's so much food is everywhere, but finding grocery store, that was huge challenge. And if I think that if I wouldn't plan their things ahead, and like, if it's for a week, that's totally fine. That doesn't make big difference. But if I would live there and every time just grab something to go eating while you are going, that is such a big difference compared to Italy. Like here, we are planning things ahead, at least what I do, and trying to eat whole foods, nutritious food, whole foods as much as possible, eating at home as like most of the meals. But if you don't have chance for that, if you are just able to plan and prepare things ahead, that is going to be a game changer, because it's not about one meal, but if that is something what happens several times per week, that in the long run, that is going to make huge difference. So planning things like if you don't know where to start, uh, think about like what we talked earlier about your protein sources, what you are going to have only as a protein. If you can't plan your whole meals, but what is going to be your protein sources? Start from your breakfast. Then if your breakfast, what I need to eat, let's say that your goal is 100 grams of protein, what you would need to get, how much protein you would need to get to hit that 100 grams end of the day. And this is one of my favorite exercises I give to my clients, is to plan their perfect day of protein ahead. So you can use tracking app or writing it down and adding it, putting it like breakfast. I need to have 30 grams. I use my examples. It's 250 grams of Greek yogurt. I add scoop of natural protein powder. So I have my 50 grams of protein for breakfast that I do every single day. Then I have some kind of snack before lunch. There is another 20 grams. So I have 70 grams of protein before I go to lunch. So I hit almost half of my protein goal already before lunch. So with these habits itself, I'm already halfway through, and it's even in the worst days, I'm getting close to my, even if I don't have always control over what I'm going to eat, lunch, dinner. But with these habits, I'm still doing okay, and that is such a big game changer. And same thing for you, if you think that what you could have, or at least to add, if you have prepared, I don't know. I have my favorite protein sources are cottage cheese. I might have a protein shake powder with me, so I can just add water, shake it, and eat it then later on. Or if there's nobody who doesn't say that you could pre-cook your chicken, take it with you, and to have at those what you are already eating. So you would have at least your protein sources, and then obviously if you can plan and prepare everything else, that makes it so much easier. And then last but not least is community and accountability. So the most successful people, like even most people, they know what they should be doing, but for some reason they are not doing it, because often there are so many things. Maybe you have your 10 things what you know you should be doing, and if you can't do all of them, then you end up doing nothing. But if you have some kind of accountability support system, that you are thinking those things a little bit more than usually, you are sharing maybe your wins, maybe your struggles, and you see you are not alone in this thing. Like in my membership coaching, I love the community part, where people are sharing ideas, struggles, wins, and this kind of, or those people who are working on one-on-one with me, I'm their accountability partner. Maybe your spouse or someone is not giving you that support what you would need, but to have some kind of external accountability part so that you know that this week I focus only on this one or two things. Next week it's going to be something else, or keep focusing on those things. So because this is it's for me too. Like when I started, it was not easy to focus on proteins and something. Now it has become kind of automatization, and I do it without thinking it. So then after it's kind of automatic, then I can add something more. And this is with the automatic things like that. If you think that you want or not, but you have some amount of willpower, what you are doing, and you are making thousands of decisions every single day. And it starts that you don't have willpower to do everything. So if you think that what clothes you are wearing, like it takes a lot of, like if I look my wife, she needs so much willpower thinking what she's going to wear. And for example, some guys like myself, there are some other guys, they wear every day same t-shirt, same clothes, because that is just something that they don't want to waste their willpower. And then they have more willpower for something else. And it applies for food, for exercising, for everything. So think what kind of decisions. If you don't believe me, take a paper and write down all kind of decisions. And I'm sure you don't even, some of them are automatic that you don't use your willpower. Like, for example, if you stop, there is a red light, you stop. That is already kind of automatic habit what you have. So you don't need a lot of willpower. But if you are thinking that what should I wear today? You need a lot of willpower, unless you have it kind of automatic way of doing it. And this is the same thing with the food. If you don't know what you are doing, you need a lot of willpower, what you should be eating. And that is every time away from something else when you use your willpower, because amount of willpower, it's more or less every people have the same amount. It's just the way how you are using it and where you are using it. So to minimize these things, just try to make those decisions already ahead, and save your willpower, maybe with some other decisions you are making. And for food, if you have already made decisions ahead, what you are going to do, when you are going to exercise, that is going to make things so much easier. And when you can share these ideas, having some kind of accountability support system, that is crucial and necessary to have success. So thank you for listening. This was a quick episode. Like I said, this was just an idea to put something out, and hopefully it was helpful. Even it was not perfect. It was recorded on a Christmas day. So I wish you had an amazing holidays. Enjoy your holiday season if you are celebrating it, and a happy New Year, and talk to you next year.
Hold up, friend. Do you love Fit Fitness podcast? If so, the best way to say thank you is to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review on iTunes. I know every podcaster wants you to leave a review, but it's because those reviews help the podcast to reach more people. I truly want to know what you think, and if this particular episode resonated with you, would you also please share it? Either send a link to someone who you think will find it valuable, or take a screenshot and post it into your social media and tell your friends and family why they should listen it. Make sure you tag me so I can hear your feedback and give you a little love. And if you aren't already following me on Instagram or TikTok, that's the perfect time to hit that follow button. Thank you for being here and listening to Fitness podcast.